Celtics lose 93-83. This is the Garden Report on Celticsblog and CLNS Radio. Welcome to the Garden Report. My name is Jared Weiss. With me, Jimmy Toscano, as always, and our new buddy tonight, Mike Petraglia, or Trags, as he's affectionately known.
Thank you.
On WEEI.com. This guy covers every single sporting event that's ever taken place in the history of Boston.
And I do it with great glee and pride, yes.
I'm laughing because you're telling the truth.
And only because he's a great a cappella singer, that's why. So the Celtics did not sing very well tonight. They lost by 10 points. As close as the box score looked, with the eyeball test, it was a massive failure. These guys just looked kind of run out from the start of the game. Picked it up a little bit, but for the most part, it was pretty much just a dead game. But Avery Bradley returned tonight. So everybody's smiling
Welcome
anyway.
Back.
Exactly. I mean, Mike, how did Avery Bradley look in his return tonight?
I thought he looked really good, surprisingly energetic, considering he hadn't been a part of the rhythm of the team, both offensively and defensively, all season long. I really liked the way Avery Bradley looked. Now, what Doc Rivers mentioned after the game is that the score dictated how much he played.
Yeah.
And people are going to look at the box score and see that he only played, 20 minutes. And they probably expected a little bit more for a guy that was starting the game. But because they were behind by so much, Doc wasn't about to put an offensive burden on the defense, on top of the defensive burden that they were already expecting from Avery Bradley. So you saw a lot of, obviously, Jet in this, Jason Terry in the second half, and that, really dictated his playing time. But overall, I thought he did a very good job, and he looked intense and aggressive on the ball defending.
Well, Avery actually said he wanted to play tonight. Or play more tonight. Let's take a look at the tape.
A few times I got a little tired, but I wasn't tired. I wanted to pick him up full court the whole game, but I obviously got to gauge it, get used to it, being out there. And, next game, I'm just going to keep improving, just like our team.
So, I mean, Jimmy, Avery said that he could have gone longer tonight. He definitely looked like he could have gone longer defensively, but he wasn't shooting the ball too well.
Right, and I think that's kind of understood. I mean, when you get a guy who's coming in, I mean, they're 30 games into the season. He's had a handful of practices. It's his first shot of the season, so obviously it's going to be a little nerve. He's not going to admit that he was nervous, but I think even if it wasn't nerves, you got to get used to the game flow. You got to get used to that. Defense just comes. I mean, defense. You don't need to practice defense. If you're good at defense, you're good at defense, and he's their best on-ball defender. So I think it was good. I think what we saw was exactly what we're going to see. If the Celtics need points, you're going to see Terry in there. If they're up by points, you're going to see Bradley in there. And obviously the other guys couldn't really get it going, so subbing Terry for Bradley wasn't enough in the end, because when you have Kevin Garnett, shooting so poorly tonight, it doesn't matter who else you sub in there. You're not going to win that game. But when you've got a guy like Terry and Bradley who can complement each other so well, that's going to hopefully pay dividends in the long run.
After the game, I found it very interesting. KG mentioned, and he acknowledged the fact he's got to be more balanced. And what he meant by that was, I can't just be worried about my defense. Everybody knows I'm a very good defensive player. I know I'm a good defensive player. But when we need offense, we can't just rely on Paul Pierce. I've got to find the post. I've got to be more aggressive. We've heard Doc Rivers say that this team needs KG to be more aggressive offensively all season long. Tonight was another case where they needed KG's offense, especially in the low post. And, I think that's what this team is going to have to still get a feel for. And we're talking 31 games into the season. They still don't have that feel.
But, I mean, one thing that he did do was he did hold his own defensively in the post. I mean, Randolph and Gasol, who are usually the guys that destroy other teams for the Grizzlies, they didn't really get their flow going tonight. I thought Kevin on ball was very good, and rotating he was very good. But the problem, Trags, was the perimeter rotations.
Well, this team,
there was mistakes, they were messy, they were slow.
As you guys have seen all season long in watching this team as closely as you do, they have not been good on perimeter rotations guarding the three. It killed them tonight. And this is a Memphis team that I believe is in the bottom third field goal percentage in the NBA. It's not, a team that you wouldn't think would kill you with threes. Darrell Arthur hit back-to-back threes. He was 0 for 12 in his career coming into this game.
Miracles do happen
beyond the arc, and those things have been happening to this edition of the Celtics.
Yeah, I agree. I think Green's been slow on rotating. I think Bass has always been slow. I even think Rondo, as good as he is in some aspects of the game, his defense this season especially has been a little off. It hasn't been 100% Rondo that we've seen years ago. I think now Rondo's, maybe spending too much energy on the offensive side of the ball or trying to cheat too much, and he's not sticking with his man enough.
And in fairness to Rondo, the Celtics don't want, and Doc does not want him expending all of his energy on defense because he does
they need him on
the huge role in running the offense. So that's understandable.
And not to cut you off, but I think Kevin Garnett spent so much of his energy on defense. He had his hands full tonight, where his shots were a little off on the offensive side because of that energy spent. And if the Grizzlies are going to beat you, make them beat you from the outside, because, like you said, they pounded down low with Gasol and Randolph. So I mean, they hit some big shots tonight from beyond the arc that I think on a lot of nights they wouldn't hit.
Yeah, I mean, Jarrell Arthur, a reliable three-point shooter, as we saw in tonight's game. That's what he's known for. And, I mean, let's ball up. We're going to ball up very early in this one. Baller of the night. Trags, talk about the guy that was hitting those threes for the Grizzlies, and it was the guy that really ran the entire thing for them tonight.
Really set the tempo all night long, I thought, was Mike Conley. Now, considering the fact that he started the game with Avery Bradley defending him, he still managed to get his shots. That really speaks to how good of an offensive player Mike Conley can be. Everybody saw it at Ohio State. I think he's one of the most underrated point guards in the NBA on a team that I think can go very deep in the NBA playoffs. But tonight, Mike Conley didn't force his shots. He hit a one miracle shot behind us as the shot clock was running out. It was a deep 2, I believe. Finished 8 for 15, 3 for 6 from three-point range, and still managed to run the offense. I mean, he really, at 23 points, did it all tonight for the Grizzlies.
I would agree with you, Mike Conley, but for the sake of switching it up, I'm going to take the optimism side. I'm going to say Jared Sellinger, actually. I think that if you look at the box score, you're not going to notice it, but I think he's making a case for starting on this team sooner rather than later, because I don't know how much longer Doc can give Jason Collins. What did he get tonight? 18 minutes? I mean, I'm just not seeing a lot out of Collins. I know that he's a good picker, but I mean, you could put a lot of things out in the court to set a pick. I don't think you necessarily need to waste 18 minutes of Collins, and I think Sellinger's earning more and more playing time. He's active on the glass. He's not the biggest guy, but he gets in there. Unfortunately, he can't get a foul call, so he's a little bit of a liability on offense. But I think what he brings, energy and defense and in
they
the paint.
need his mental toughness.
They need that, and I actually asked him. Speaking of mental toughness, I said to him after the game, I said, 4 losses in a row for you. You've never had that many losses. I mean, think about it: Ohio State, prep school, all this. And he said, before this season, he's never lost 2 games in a row. That's amazing. So he said it was really tough for him at first to deal with the losses, but it's making him stronger mentally because it's making him easier for him to forget yesterday and look forward to tomorrow, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, he's not dwelling on the losses, and I think that's helping his game. It's going to help his game in the long run.
And to his credit, he's gotten a lot of praise for his maturity from the teammates, from the coach.
Yeah,
everyone has said that he's a mature guy. He definitely did not look as defeated as some of the other guys in the locker room tonight, frankly. I mean, there was some guys that seem to be really in the dumps right now. We know that Doc really went into them before he came out for his press conference. He was gone. He was gone for a lot longer than
by far the longest all season long. Even more so than when he ripped them after the Nets loss here back in, I believe it was early December, late November, whenever that was, and he came out and called him soft. He was gone after the game longer tonight than he was even that night.
And, I mean, we're going to be very cranky waiting up for Doc. It's way past our bedtimes. So I'll quickly just say, I agree with you, Trags. Mike Conley was just fantastic tonight. He was just the best all-around player. I thought he was great in every single facet of the game. Rondo, I mean, we know he slowed down. We saw in that drive by Tony Allen when they had that one-on-one fast break. Rondo just kind of matadored him through because he just is still hurt, cannot run at full speed. And I thought Conley pretty much took him out of the game, was really kind of fronting him hard on the perimeter, not letting him get to his left hand as much as Rondo usually likes to. So just bravo, Mike. And so let's go back to Mike about DeMarcus Cousins. This is the guy that we heard all about over the holiday season.
Switching it up completely.
Yeah, everybody's thinking, do they want DeMarcus Cousins for Christmas? Do you want DeMarcus Cousins for, I guess, Valentine's Day, more like that?
No, I don't.
And I know you're a romantic.
Yeah, I am romantic, but I don't want that kind of heartache bestowed upon the Boston Celtics. And I think it would be. I think it would be not only heartache, but it'd be a lot of drama. That this team right now, I don't think can really handle. I think obviously we've seen that they have their hands full trying to handle the chemistry of the bench right now, and that's difficult. They're trying to bring, obviously, Jared Sullinger along. They're trying to work Avery Bradley back into the mix. If you're going to make a move, and it's going to be a significant move, it's going to be a blockbuster. And if it's a blockbuster, it probably is going to involve one of 3 players: Kevin Garnett, Avery Bradley, or Rajon Rondo. I mean, those are the 3 most marketable players, I think, on the team right now. Sullinger's in the mix in terms of marketability as well. But to your point on DeMarcus Cousins, triple-double against the Celtics, he obviously showed him what he could do,
Right.
but I don't think they're going to take that kind of risk on a 22-year-old if they feel that it would really mess up the mix here right now that they're trying to get in place.
All right, Jimmy, 20 seconds. Make a case for why they should trade for DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's completely different than what I was going to
Okay,
say.
well then make your point. I'll try to make a point for it.
I could probably go both ways. I mean, honestly, the case for him. He's 22 years old. He's a center. He's got all the talent in the world, but you don't put those type of guys on the market for no reason.
Right.
If the Kings, who are desperately searching for fans and are desperately searching for somebody for them to be relevant in the state of California, why would they trade their franchise center unless he was completely just gone and you can't fix him? And listen, Doc Rivers is a great coach, but do you think he just wants to take in invalid after invalid and not calling DeMarcus Cousins an invalid, but the point is, he's not trying to be a babysitter. He's not trying to be a dad to these guys. He's trying to be an NBA coach.
Right.
He's trying to win now with these guys. And the bottom line is they should be able to win now. So let him try his hand with the players that he has. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But I don't think a Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins-led team is going to get you anywhere but in the wrong direction.
Well, I think the key for them is that it's not a Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins-led team. That it has to be a team where Garnett and Pierce are still there. Now, that means that they have to give up pretty much every single prospect that they have. I personally don't think it's worth it. Yeah,
nope.
In a devil's advocate position, to put Cousins in that environment, doable. It's definitely doable. And if it does work, they are definitely right up there as title contenders for the next 2 years, and maybe even after that if they're able to pull in one other really good wing player once Pierce and Garnett retire. But I mean, I think we all agree it's just not really worth the risk because you already have top quality talent.
You've got a lot. You've got a lot on your team right now. Now, if you're a team like the Raptors and you have some pieces and maybe you want to make something work, fine. But when you're the Celtics and you have guys like KG and Pierce and Terry and you've made these moves with Green and Lee, and you've built a team to win now. To blow it up after a month or two just doesn't seem like something Danny Ainge would do. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I have no inside knowledge on that, but I just don't think that he would make a panic move like that right now.
So we're all in agreement DeMarcus Cousins probably isn't coming to Boston. And I think because we all agree on that, means he's probably going to get traded here next year. Yeah. So we'll find out pretty soon.
Well, I don't know. I know Danny Ainge watches this show, so he might take our opinions really seriously and not consider it.
All right, Danny, well, why don't you hit us up on Twitter, DM me and Jimmy and Trags here. We'll have a roundtable discussion on it. Trags.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you,
on the
Trags.
show.
Hopefully we see you again on the show.
We got trains to catch. You guys got, I don't know, it's morning time for you, so you got trains to catch on to work. But the Celtics, unfortunately, they're going to be sulking in their beds for the rest of Thursday. Before they have a game Friday night, they lose 93-83 for Mike Petraglia, or Trags, for fun.
It's fine.
Jimmy Toscano. I'm Jared Weiss. This is the Garden Report on Celticsblog and CLNS Radio.